Today, the dad and daughter interact with a hug, and I'll show you all the changes I made to the dad character. And we start off with another non-existent storyboard. I knew it was just going to be a shot down the front of the trunk, so I didn't bother drawing it. I did have some notes here to fix the rope that was in the car, because you can actually see it. I didn't tie it in previous shots. I'll show you that momentarily. And the blanket peeked through the roof, so I simply turned the blanket off from the render. And I will show you that later as well, but let's take a look at the shot. So here we are. The dad is dropping the daughter off at college. You can see all her luggage inside fairly clearly now. The trunk is on top. As you can see, there is no green blanket peeking through the top of the car. You can't see it on the top of the car either, but I assumed from that angle you wouldn't see it either way. So if you look at those ropes, they are poorly tied in the middle, very cartoonish. I created those ropes myself using a rope tutorial, following a path. And I just took my path and made it all wonky and curvy in the ends and stretched my rope out to make that look like that in the middle. I'm fine with it. It's kind of goofy, but it was one of the first times I had ever done something like that. The two characters here, the dad was a free character from Blender, as I mentioned, and the girl character was a character I purchased. I'm going to show you the dad character here in a minute, but let's run this shot and see what happens. The girl is looking outside. She's happy to go to college, gives dad a big hug, and he's a proud father dropping her off at school. So some of the difficulties of this shot are them sort of going through the seats in the back. I will show you the animation there and how hard it was to make sure somebody didn't go through a seat in the back. And I may have failed at that and just said, you don't see it, so I don't care. That's one of the fun things with camera angles and shallow depths of field that you can get away with. Let's start with the dad character. So here we are. This is the dad character that I got for free. I wanted to change some stuff about him. His hair up here was very plasticky and Ken Barbie doll looking. I wanted to give him more realistic hair, so I made a particle system. And I believe the only other thing I changed was the shirt. I probably separated out the shirt and changed the pattern on the shirt, creating something different than just this yellow shirt here. And at one point, I may have taken the glasses and decided that they were too thick and tried to make them less thick. I believe I did that, but looking at it now, it probably was a big waste of time. But let's look at how I modified this character. All right, here is my version of the dad. You can see I have created a particle system for his head. What I did was I took his full head, duplicated it, and then deleted everything except for this little portion of the skull where I made the hair come out of. I did the same thing for the eyebrows, and then I just made it brown. So here is his shirt separated out from the body. Oh, I didn't bother to separate it because it's probably its own, yes, Vincent shirt right here. It is its own section of the body. It is separated out for its own texture. Let's take a look at how I did that. So here's what I did. I followed a tutorial on basically how to make plaid. This is the setup. I won't go into it, but I decided I did not want that plain yellow shirt and to give him something a little bit different, a blue shirt and plaid. I will also reuse this character later in the slit door of the back alley. These eyes, I changed the color of the dad's eyes and change his hair and his skin color, get rid of the glasses, and he becomes a whole other character. But I will cover that in a later tutorial. All right, let's go to the main Blender file. Okay, so yesterday I mentioned about the fact that I used this same setup for a nighttime scene. And what you're seeing here is I would duplicate the characters in this same scene and reuse them later. This is sort of the story of one girl and two different men, one who loves her and one who does not. So I repeat a lot of stuff, showing the two different actions of two different men and what happens to her in this short. So I repeat some shots on purpose. And in doing so, it also saved me a lot of time and energy in setting up new locations by being able to reuse the same location over and over again. Now, what you're seeing here is this is the boy character she will later go stargazing with, and this is her on the night out with a hat, and I will show you more about that later. But here she is getting dropped off by Dad in the Blender file, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the other characters. Okay, so here we are. It's just the dad and the girl. Let's fly around here, look inside this car. Let's see. They are, if you see here, Dad is going through the seat of the car because he is too tall to fit in this car. I tried to be very diligent about scale in this short, but sometimes things don't work out. So it didn't matter. I just made the dad sink into the seat because you will never see that part. Now let's see what happens when we play this along and when she hugs, if she goes through the back of the seat like I think she might. Her arm comes through. I get it up over the top. Oh, look at me. I managed to pull it off without her going through the seat like I thought she might. Other parts of her might go through. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, and here's some fun stuff. Look at how her shirt is all jacked up. There are ways to go through, and when you move characters, do shape keys for clothing. That doesn't seem to work right. If I didn't see it in the shot, I just left it because that is incredibly hard to do. So she's kind of going through the seat a little bit here. Not as bad as I thought. She slides over. Whoops. She slides over off of her own seat. But overall, not as bad as I thought. And here you can see my rope. Whoops. There you can see my rope all janky going through itself, but it is out of focus in the background, so I don't care. The inside of the car is not perfect, but we never see the inside of the car, so it doesn't matter. And as we spin around here, you can see her legs are a little bit janky, but we don't see them, so that doesn't matter. And there were a lot of keyframes here to make sure her hands didn't go through her own hands as I moved her and they hugged. So this was a lot of tedious keyframing here. You know, went through and marked out the big turns on the part of the body, and then frame by frame, sort of as they hugged and she pulled him tighter or hugged in harder. There's a keyframe on every single one of those hands and fingers in order to make that work. And that is basically it for this shot. What you can see as I pull out here is I turned off all the other characters, probably just deleted them as well, knowing I wouldn't see them in this shot. Turned off the grass as much as possible, got rid of these trees over here, left this building even though you didn't see it, and then just kept in the stuff that I needed to keep in that was necessary for the shot. But this shot's base was based on the other shot and just a continuation of it. And then we come back to this same shot as a base for a later nighttime scene. So that is it for shot number 6. Tomorrow, the dad drives off. I'll break down what I changed on the daughter character, and I'll show you some mesh corrections. I'll see you then.